Obligatory opening shot of Matt working on his NaNoWriMo novel, apparently oblivious to the friends and neighbors behind him. Finishing up sentence. Turning around and saying, "Hello, friends and neighbors, and welcome once again to NaNoWriMo." Okay, first off, yes, I know it's been an insanely long time since I uploaded a video. Get used to it, that's the way it's gonna be for a while, I'm sorry. In fact, that's kind of what today's video was about, because for the 6th year in a row, I am doing NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month, where a bunch of people around the world take the month of November, 30 days to write 50,000 words and maybe make it into a coherent novel. Someday after some editing, but that's December. The goal of NaNoWriMo, of course, is quantity, not quality. Write as many words as possible. You don't necessarily have to make them good, yet. Again, that comes later. And over the past 3 years, or 4 years, depending on how you count the advice videos, I have given you an advice video on how to get through some aspect of NaNoWriMo. 4 years ago, I just wrote a song about NaNoWriMo that many people still find to be a great source of inspiration. Thanks for that. 3 years ago, I simply gave you my top 10 tips on how to bump up your NaNoWriMo word count. 2 years ago, I gave you my top 10 tips on how to get out of the week 2 NaNoWriMo slump. And last year, I waited until after NaNoWriMo to give you my top 10 tips on how to actually finish your NaNoWriMo novel after you had written the 50,000 words. All of those videos are available for your viewing pleasure if you need some more advice or inspiration for NaNoWriMo. However, this video is specifically for those people who, like me, have a full-time job and are still doing NaNoWriMo. So here are my top 10 tips on how to do NaNoWriMo when you're super busy. Number 10, remember, get your work done first. Okay, I have to be Mr. Responsible Matt here for a moment, but you're not being paid to do NaNoWriMo, you're being paid to do your job. So get your job done before you start devoting all sorts of time on your novel. I would recommend, and I actually have my fiance to thank for this piece of advice, making a list and crossing things off as you finish things on that list. Itemizing your work like this really helps it seem a lot more manageable, and it's very satisfying to cross things off the list and see that you are in fact making progress. Plus, if you do itemize your list like that, then you can take breaks in between tasks and either do something completely unrelated to NaNoWriMo, or actually work on your NaNoWriMo novel. You'd be amazed at how much of your novel that you can get done when you break up your work like that. Number 9, schedule yourself. If you are working a full-time job, then more than likely you have a schedule of some sort. A schedule for meetings, a schedule for appointments, a schedule for classes that you're teaching, whatever it might be. And you not only have a schedule for within your work time, but you also have a schedule for outside your work time, for projects that you're working on and such. So take advantage of that. Schedule your time as much as you possibly can, and specifically schedule time that you are going to set aside to work on writing. It might help to figure out what time of day is the best for you when it comes to your creative work. Maybe you work best at the end of the day, maybe you work best in the middle, maybe you work best at the beginning of the day. Figure out what that time of day is and schedule a block of about 20 to 30 minutes to just work on your novel at that time. And related to that piece of advice, number 8, work on your word sprints. A word sprint is basically exactly what it sounds like. You have a specific amount of time, like 5-10 minutes, to write as much as possible. If you only have 30 minutes a day to write, then you need to make the best use you can of that time. So figure out how you can write as many words as possible in that time. Number 4, make a list. I mean a list of things that you need to get done within NaNoWriMo. Make a list of characters you need to introduce, make a list of plot points that you need to cover, make a list of scenes that need to occur, and maybe even do it day by day so that you can really figure out what you need to write in any given day. The heater just kicked on. Delightful. If you go into your writing knowing exactly what you need to write, then it'll probably go a little bit faster, especially if you already have some of the scenes playing out in your head. And once again, related to that, number 6, plan ahead. There's 2 basic ways to approach NaNoWriMo. You can either be a planner, where you plan everything in advance and then know exactly what you're going to be writing when it comes time to write, or you are a pantser, or someone who writes by the seat of their pants, basically just making it up as you go. I have tried both methods, and without a doubt, the method that works best for me is planning. My most successful NaNoWriMo novel, that is, the NaNoWriMo that is actually self-published and available for purchase right now, links in the description, is the one that I planned the most. Now obviously we're in NaNoWriMo, so you might think that it's too late to start planning, but really it's only too late to start planning after your novel is published. So start thinking about about what scenes are going to come next. Start thinking about the structure of your story and where it's going to go from the point where you are right now. And if you truly are a seat-of-the-pants writer, if that really does work best for you, that's great. You still want to try to think day by day of what you're going to need to write next. Numbers 5 through 3 are all important things that you should not forget. Number 5, don't forget to eat and sleep and take care of yourself. This isn't just good advice for people doing NaNoWriMo, this is good advice for anybody who's super busy with anything. Eat breakfast, eat dinner, make sure that you are giving yourself sustenance. It'll make your brain work better. Same goes for sleep. If you're working a full-time job, then you are probably beyond the point where you can stay up until 2 in the morning working on something. I know there have been many times where I've been in a situation where I've been working for hours and hours on a project and I've just gotten to the point where my brain refuses to work anymore. And even though I hate to do it, I force myself to get up, go to bed, sleep for a few hours, and then when I come back, my brain's working again. So please remember to take care of yourself. Number 4, don't forget to unwind. Just like eating and sleeping, unwinding can be very important to making sure that our brains are still functioning. Telling people to just stop working and do nothing for a little while is almost completely anathema to our American mindset, but it really is important. Human beings cannot function purely on work. We need that time for our brains to rest, to do something completely mindless, to go hang out with friends, to watch TV, to spend some time on the internet. We need that time to just let our brains kind of rest and recuperate for a while. Number 3, don't forget to keep reading. How else are you going to know how to write good words unless you read good words? And maybe not use phrases like good words. Find books that you know to be really good, and even just find books that maybe aren't as good, but books that you really enjoy. It will give you an insight on how you might want to write your own novel. Fill your brain with good words, and then put the good words to your own ends. Number 2, very important, stay away from Tumblr, or Twitter, or Facebook, or YouTube, or whatever thing is going to cause you to procrastinate and completely lose time. We all have that one thing, that one black hole of non-productiveness that just sucks us in and refuses to let us go. For me, it's Tumblr. Now, I know I just got done telling you how unwinding and relaxing and doing nothing is very important, but only to a certain extent. You still need to get back to work at some point. And there are some things that refuse to let go. Figure out what that thing is. You probably already know what it is, but figure out what that thing is that causes you to procrastinate the most and avoid it. Stay away from it. Unwind with something else. And the number 1 piece of advice that I can give anybody who's trying to give NaNoWriMo and is super busy, please remember that this is fun. Please don't go into this with the mindset of this is more work, and I have to do it now. This is fun. This is a chance for you to expand yourself creatively. This isn't an opportunity for you to create more stress and more tension for yourself. If you find yourself taking it too seriously, take a step back and try to have some fun with it. Do something completely unexpected with your novel. Write a completely slapstick scene. Write something that is completely out of nowhere in your novel. Maybe introduce a new character. I did it! I put introduce a new character as a piece of advice for the 5th year in a row! There's a reason why NaNoWriMo is at its heart a social activity, because we enjoy having fun together. We enjoy getting together and having gatherings and engaging in word wars and doing all of these sort of fun things together. We're here to have fun. And those are the top 10 pieces of advice I have for anyone who's trying to do NaNoWriMo this year and is super busy. I am really hoping that I am going to be able to follow this advice and get out 50,000 words this year. I will let you know how that goes. Let me know how you all are doing with your word counts in the comments if you're participating in NaNoWriMo, and if you're not, then I don't know, tell me what your favorite color is or something. I don't know. And until next time, back to work.
Laptop on and the screensaver still. A new Word document just waiting to be filled. My fingers are poised, and mouth a sentence rehearsed. It's 11:59 October 31st. A fresh